Hello friends, welcome back to another live trading video. Today we're taking a look at USD CAD or dollar Canadian dollar, and we're going to be talking about a short position that I just took on this currency pair, talking about why I took the trade, what I'm looking for this thing to do, and how I'm going to manage the trade live. So what I mean by live is I'm basically recording these trades. I'm a swing trader, so I'll pause every once in a while, but the overall idea is I will share the entries, the exits, and whether this trade is a winner or a loser. You guys will see the full trade here on YouTube, and the purpose of this is to give you guys a little bit of an insight, whether you're a newer trader or more experienced, an insight of what a real trade might look like and how I personally manage trades. Now, please note, this is just my approach to trading. There's more than one way to be successful in the markets, but this is my style. So let's get into it. So dollar CAD, I'm short right now. I took a position and just shared it with members inside of the private group. So let's pull that up and I'll show you guys what this looks like. So I said that I'm taking dollar CAD short as it pulls back. From a technical analysis perspective, price is pulling back to a nice level that I like, and I put a 25 pip stop above price. Looking at this mostly on the 1 hour chart and the 4 hour chart. So from that perspective, we'll go over and look at the chart a little closer in a moment. And I said from a fundamental perspective, right now I am currently bearish on the US dollar due to concerns around inflation and the fact that the Feds right now are a little bit hesitant to talk about raising rates anytime soon, which is usually seen as a bullish catalyst for a currency. Higher interest rates mean higher yields for investors buying bonds in that said country. With that said, I'm bullish on this currency in terms of the CAD side because their economy is doing quite well. Their unemployment's been doing really well overall. They had a miss last time, but overall it's been doing well. You've got things bouncing back well in Canada. They're handling the pandemic well, and so on and so forth. They've also talked recently about tapering, which is the idea of slowing their money printing process, which is usually perceived as bullish for the currency, since less printed money means less potential inflation, which is actually good for the value of a currency. Less printed money means there is less supply, hence potentially more demand. So with that said, I have a fundamental and a technical bias to the downside. So let's talk about this trade. Now I've put a stop just above price. So let's break down the technicals a bit. So I'll start on the 4 hour chart. This thing has been in a very strong downtrend. You might be saying, well, Nick, doesn't it seem like it's time to buy? This thing is low. But if you watch my live trading videos, then you'll know that usually I am looking to go with trends. I'm looking to short a market that is moving strongly to the downside, and I'm actually looking to go long in a market that is going to the upside. So right now, yes, we seem to be really sold off on the dollar CAD, but it is pretty, in my opinion, very rightfully sold off. I think that it makes sense for this thing to be fairly bearish with all the concerns around inflation. Like I said, from that fundamental perspective, I'm looking for that story to play out. Now, if things change dramatically, then what I will do is I will stop out of my trade. So again, from a 4 hour perspective, let me just draw in some technicals for you. We can look at the moving averages. You can see everything is lined up, which I do tend to like. We've got that longer term, moving averages looking very bearish here. Lots of bearish structure. Now, I do want to say, so I am short on this currency pair right now. And one thing I want to add to this is that although I am short right now, if I fail out, right, if I stop out of this trade, then what I might do is I very well may look to try again. So one of my principles in my trading strategy is I like to stop out of losses very quickly. And I actually end up taking, because of that, a lot of losses. I take probably 50-50 wins, losses historically. And so with that said, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if I took a loss, but more importantly, if I'm trying to take this trade, I might try again. So what I mean by that is, let's say price jumps up and then I get stopped out and I say, okay, well, maybe I'll rethink things and maybe I can try again right here. Usually I'll try something 2 to 3 times. If it keeps failing, then I will probably look to bail on that idea. But again, that's usually how I'm approaching a setup like this. So dollar CAD, again, I am short currently at resistance. So let's look at this from just a supply and demand perspective, zoom into price just a bit, and you could see the last few times price has made its way up to this point at 1.2130. It's found sellers pretty sharply. And already you can kind of see price trying to push price lower or sellers trying to push price lower. So let's look at the 1 hour chart. Okay. So here's where I actually executed the trade. Again, higher time frame, sell trend, nice resistance point here. And I basically said, okay, I think I'm going to take this trade here short. So I took the trade short with a stop just above this structure point. Now, again, I'm only risking in this case 25 pips. So if price goes shooting right against me, it's all good. Then this level that I thought would hold as resistance would be invalidated, and so I would quickly take a stop loss there. Now, I've gave it some room here, so although it is, looks kind of close from a perspective of like price action, I really don't want to see price go much more than this area. So if it does clear that area, if we start to see something like that, then of course I will just stop out of the trade. And again, whoops, I got an alert on pound dollar. We're gonna have to take a look at that after the video here. But the idea there being that if I'm wrong about this, I'll stop out quickly. And if this continues lower, I'll look to trail stops. So one of the questions I sometimes get on my live trading videos is people say, well, Nick, why don't you have a target on your trade? And the main reason is because I personally like to trail my stop losses. And what that means is that let's take the scenario in which I am right about this and we see dollar CAD push lower. What I will do is I will look to try and capture the occasional super trend, is what I like to call them, in the market, where you see stuff like this, where you just see these massive movements. And this is like my ideal scenario in which I can see myself making the most amount of money. So in that case, what I would be doing is I use structure. So I could actually draw in some more that I meant to have in here. I don't know why I deleted this one before. But my target, quote unquote, is sort of seeing if we can get a move back down to the previous low. So at this point, what I will do is I'll use structure to try and trail my stops. So we have some structure here and we have some structure here. So what I might do is I might say, okay, well, if price can get down to this point, I'll probably move my stops to break even. If price can break down to the next major area of structure, maybe I'll lock in some more profit. And if price can break that, I will continue the process and keep doing this until I ultimately get stopped out. This is my trading strategy in a nutshell from a price action standpoint. It is not the full thing because, again, I use fundamental analysis and sentiment analysis and other pieces to my trading. But again, that is what I'm looking at on dollar CAD. So here's the full breakdown. I tried to go in detail for the people who had questions about this in some of my recent other live trading videos. So I hope this helped. I'll pause the video, and what we will do is come back once things have started moving on dollar CAD. For the better or for the worse, I'll be uploading this video to YouTube for you guys to either make fun of me or to celebrate a win with me. We will see. Whatever happens, happens, and I'll be back soon. Dollar CAD is moving lower here, which is kind of cool to see. I've got my stop loss locked in now at just a bit better than break even, so you can see up about $711. So not bad on the trade so far. I'm actually, surprised that it turned so quickly, or so without much hesitation, because we were coming up into this area and my first reaction is like, you get this ginormous move, right? You kind of expect at the very least, like, yes, resistance can still hold, but a lot of times you get like a phase of consolidation before we ultimately move lower. But it does seem like price decided to very quickly find sellers and reject this area on the retest. So kind of a cool spot to be in, because now I have my trade stopped or locked in at break even. So the worst case scenario right now with the trade is that I can still, I will no matter what make money so long as things don't gap up dramatically. For the most part, things will either get me out for a very small win, or if things keep going, then I will look to trail my stop further. And as I mentioned, on the last recording, I basically said if price can start getting down to this point here, then I'd probably be looking to slowly move that stop loss down and follow price, giving it enough room to pull back if it wants to and respect structure. So that is the plan for now. But again, I am stepping off to go to the office today. And so I've basically locked in this position at where it is. And, the ideal situation is we see this thing continue to roll over throughout the day and throughout the rest of the week. It is a Thursday right now. And so I could just potentially move that stop loss and continue to lock it in further. With that said, I'm going to pause again and come back once things are moving again. Okay, guys, taking a look at dollar CAD here. Things are still going our way, which is kind of nice. We had some really favorable news here for our position, which shot this thing lower here. You can see just an absolute sell-off here at the start of the New York session off of that news. And right now, I've gone ahead and moved my stop loss here from where it was, just a little bit better than break even. I've moved my stop loss there, locking in a pretty good move there. At this point, locking in, what is this? We'll figure this out. It was 34 pips locked in on the position, and currently overall up about 70 pips. So I'm trying to be conservative with my stop loss here, trying to give it room to run if it does want to, just because with this news volatility, volatility has expanded a little bit, and it very well could do, some crazy back and forth. So I want to keep my stop loss a decent enough space away so that I give it a chance to run. With that said, I would not also like to see price move back above this resistance point at this point. I actually should probably change this to a red color. So I'd really like to see this price not go above this area, otherwise hold it and ultimately keep going lower if I'm going to stay in the position and continue to trail stops. My next area of interest would be a move down to somewhere in this region. If we can start to see price get down to that point, then I will continue to move my stop loss and try and keep it as conservative as possible. But again, we'll pause the video, see how it goes. If price reverses on me, we'll take a profit. And if it keeps going, we'll try and let this thing become a bigger and bigger winner. So with that said, I'll pause and we'll come back to this once it has moved again. All right, guys, we are all out of USD CAD for a total of $778.49 here on the trade. So not a bad profit there. I will take it. Again, we took the short position up here and ended up covering the trade right on this candle as we broke through this resistance. Definitely makes me feel good about where my stop loss was, because you can see that this structure that we were pointing out, it did try to hold a few times, but when it did break, it really shot through that level. So happy to just take a profit there as price breaks through that level. And again, one of those things, it's just the power of trailing stops is cool, because it allows you to basically hold on to a winner that goes like this. And then if it just decides to reverse like this, a lot of times you'll see that price will just break out the other way. And that's where I just hop out of the trade and I take my profit. So again, I can't complain. Not a bad trade at all. The entry was pretty fantastic. I mean, in an ideal situation, I would have loved to see dollar CAD roll over and get back underneath this level here. But again, sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And even if you can catch a little piece of the move, it's still worth taking. So not bad. So a little better than 1R there, almost 2R on the trade with the trailing stop there. So not bad at all. With that said, guys, make sure if you are interested in seeing the trades that I take in real time, you can find more information about that. I share all of them in a Discord journal that I have, as well as our chat room. We have live webinars and all sorts of other perks by becoming a premium member. I get that if you enjoy the videos, they are completely free. All you have to do is you can leave a like down below. It does help me out a lot. But if you are interested in signing up for the premium service that our company offers, check it out down below in the description and use that promo code to get a discount off of your membership. With that said, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will see you back in the next trade video.